DJ-Eclypse. I'm Claude Vonstroke. Doing a little chat today. He's got a brand new record coming out, Blackbird EP. You've probably heard it on the live stream if you've been paying attention on Sundays. I've been playing both tracks, Scooty Woop and the Coffee Break. But what you got going on today? I'm sorry. I'm sure everyone's been watching you already chat.
I'm about to drink my first cup of coffee with you.
Right. So how is it possible after you made like 8 breakfast themed tracks that you've never had a cup of coffee in your entire life? That's impossible to me.
I think my mom kept it from me because I was already a hyper kid, and she probably thought the last thing I needed in life was more caffeine. So I never explored it. And then as an adult, like, you know, you see like certain people when they don't have coffee, how they get. So like you kind of get afraid. You're like, I don't want to become that person that wakes up and I'm ready to
like me this morning.
Choke everyone. So like I've never had Starbucks, I've never had a latte, I've never had a cappuccino, I've never had a coffee, I've never none of it. So this is gonna be the first experience. So I got the Dirtybird coffee on deck, coffee grinder.
It's crazy.
Coffee maker.
Wow.
Coffee cup. So we're gonna do it.
You got the whole setup there, ready to go. Actually, the Dirtybird coffee. I like that your first cup of coffee is gonna be Dirtybird coffee. That's cool.
Yeah. Like I didn't even know that you guys were coming out with the coffee when I made the coffee record. It was kind of funny. I was just like, oh snap. Like this kind of like all worked out. So
that's cool.
On us, you know?
Wow. So how'd you come up with this record? We're gonna play the music video in a minute, but just like I don't know, as soon as I heard this A-side Scooty Woop, I was like, oh, this one is for me right away.
Actually, I was on the phone with my guy Maurice Tamraz, and we were like, sometimes we'll get on the phone and just like kick around like just really stupid ideas, or we're like just clown around about just what would be a funny song, like this would be totally hilarious or whatever. And so, and then like it hit me, and I was like, dude, I got to call you back. And I hung up and recorded the hook and called him back and played. He was like, you just came up with that? I was like, yeah. I was like, but this is hilarious because it kind of reminded me of like Outkast Hootie Who a little bit. Yeah, it was kind of like, how could I do a twist on that, but and make it into a house joint? And so like, I don't even know what Scooty Woop means.
Yeah, I mean, nobody does, right? But yeah, I was thinking as soon as I heard it that it sounded like a fun hip hop track, and you were actually a hip hop producer first.
Yeah.
Before you became a house producer. How did that all happen?
I started out in hip hop like early. I started off DJing. Like I remember I used to make mixtapes and then sell them in school. And then after that, I started DJing clubs. And then I really got into production because like a lot of the people that I looked up to, like DJ Premier, Dr. Dre, Teddy Riley, people like that, they were all Timberland, they were all DJs first and then turned producers. So I was like,
because you get the ear for the club.
Yeah, because you kind of get to see what works on the dance floor, what doesn't. And so then you kind of take those ideas to the studio. And so I got into production. And then so then I was DJing and producing, and that's when I met Gucci in a studio.
You mean Gucci Mane?
Yeah, I met Gucci Mane in the city because he came to our city to do a show. And while he was there, he wanted to knock out some tracks, and he was there. We're just like, yo, like, we all know any dope producers, and the promoters were like, yeah, we know this E-Clypse dude. And so that's when I met him. I sold him a track, and then we didn't talk for like a year and a half. And then one of my partners had a show in Georgia, and turned out that he was opening up for Gucci Mane. And then the promoter tried to introduce me to him, and I was like, dude, I already know him. He was like, yeah, right. Like, you don't know him. I was like, nah, like, I really know him. And so when he walked me back in the VIP, Gucci's like, Clips, dude, what's going on, man? It was just weird. They're just both, and everybody just sitting there like y'all really know each other. It was like, yeah. And so some stuff happened, and then he went. He started when he first signed Atlantic and went on to I think it was the Back to the Trap House tour. And he called me. He was like, dude, man, like I want you to go on the road with me. So, be my tour DJ, and that way we can work on music on the tour bus and DJ, do the shows at the same time. So it kind of worked. And 40 cities of craziness, and
that's insane.
Yeah.
That's a really crazy story. That I will tell you that I had zero commercial success, but I was a rapper when I was 15, 16 years old, and I made a whole album in high school.
Did you put it out?
I put it out as far as I sold it to all my friends, like door to door. Like I had it full, like it was on cassette. I mean, no, I did not get it anywhere.
You should upload it to the Bird feed.
No way, man. There's no way.
I mean, because I think like hip hop and house music kind of go hand in hand. Like if you go back into like the earlier phases of house, I mean, you got Mr. Lee and some of the
and they're both super DIY. Both genres are like, we're just gonna do it ourselves, kind of make our own thing.
Yeah. And so like to me it just seemed a little bit like a natural transition. It was like, okay, so like now how can I take the hip hop roots of it and mix it with what I loved about house music and kind of fuse that together to kind of do it in my own kind of way. And that took me a while.
Yeah.
It took a while.
Why, just before we play the music video, why did you switch over to house music from hip hop? Was there something that you wanted to change musically? Like, was there a reason why it was going to work better for you?
I mean, for me in hip hop, it was dope, but it was a lot of, like, I was in that period of hip hop where like it was really getting just wild. So like a lot of artists that, you're working with, they're in and out of the feds, you know what I'm saying? Then like really like the gang stuff really got really heavy in hip hop, and it was just like, yo, man, like I grew up around
worth the stress.
Yeah, like I don't want to do this as an occupation, you know what I mean? And so it is not like I still have mad love for hip hop. I mean, I still do it, but it was like I just wanted something a little more relaxing, where it was really, really about the music and not so much about, yo, how many people did you shoot? Great, you got a deal. You know what I mean? It was just kind of one of those things. So, and that's what really brought me to house music.
So, right about now, we're going to transition. The A side of this record that you're putting out with us this week is called Scooty Woop. It's got a serious hip hop influence, and it's so fun. I kind of feel like it also has like a little Green Velvet influence in it. Like it's got that kind of like gnarly house beat.
Yeah, I mean, because like Green Velvet, dude, between like the Percolator and Flash and like it's kind of all those little weird elements, man. Like he's a wild dude, man. So I can really see it.
Big up to our man Cash, Green Velvet. Yeah. Okay. So right now we're gonna like disappear off the screen, and he's gonna make some coffee. Eclypse is gonna make the first cup of coffee that he's ever drank in his entire life while we watch the brand new world premiere of the music video Scooty Woop that he made himself.
We gonna get it shaky. If you ready to get it shaky, let me hear you say Scooty Woop. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's what we gonna do today. Is you ready? Scooty Woop. Work it, twerk. I said, is you ready? Cause I am ready to work you out. Let's go. Work it, twerk it, work it, twerk. 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 We gonna start off with some basic stretch maneuvers. your ice cream. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do the humper size. Ready? And 1, and 2, and hump, and 3. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4.
Work it, 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 work it,
You
work
feel
it,
it?
work it,
Do you feel it? You gotta work on the sweat. Work on the sweat. And right, booty tight, leg right. You know what I'm saying? And if you sneeze, dab on it. Sneeze like that. You know what I'm saying? How you? How you? How you? You know what I'm saying? How you? Vintage shake weight. Good to tighten up your trapezius muscle. Woo! That was a workout. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about you. I'm hot. Man. So, if you enjoyed the show, tune in next week when we work on your glutes. You know what I'm saying? Get it right back there in the Laffy Taffy. You know what I'm talking about? Don't forget, 1-800-95-SCOOTY. Take care of yourself. And wash your damn hands.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. You're a crazy dude.
My legs hurt for 3 days after that because I don't particularly go to the gym a lot. So like from the knees to my hips, like that whole thigh area just felt like hot lava for 3 days. So
What's
things that we do.
where did you get the idea for this character?
I wanted to, like, I was a big fan of like Martin and stuff like that, man. So like Martin,
I love
and,
that
like,
show.
and Eddie Murphy and like, yeah, and like Loiter Squad. You watch Loiter Squad?
No.
Oh, you gotta watch Loiter Squad. It's Tyler the Creator and Earl Sweatshirt and all them, the Odd Future guys.
Oh, really?
They got a show on Adult Swim called Loiter Squad, and it's
I've
hilarious.
never heard of that. I gotta check it out.
Yeah, it's really wild. So it's like just all those kind of like weird scenarios, and it was funny because I remember when I went into the wig shop, the ladies were looking at me kind of like I was halfway crazy because I was the only dude that was in there. And I go up to the lady and I'm like, look, I need something that's as close to a Jerry curl as possible. And she just, okay. And so she walks me back there, and she goes, wait a minute, this is for you? And I'm like, yeah. And she kind of looked at me again like,
what
this? For? And I was like, I'm gonna make a music video. She's like, oh, I gotta see this. You know what I mean? So it was just like, man, the wig store is a whole nother experience as a dude if you've never been in there. It's crazy.
No, I have been in the wig store because when I was living in downtown Detroit, it was like all wig stores in this. Yeah. But now not anymore, but it used to be.
That's because Detroit is like the home of the hairdos, man. Like, yeah, it's crazy up there. I love it though.
So
true trapper Detroit fashion.
There we go.
Put the coffee Pyrex. Water in the Pyrex. We're gonna water whip the coffee.
Making his very first cup of coffee. It's gonna be way too strong, and you're gonna be like Scooty whooping everywhere.
I'm hoping I'm pouring this in the right hole.
That's what she said. No, just kidding.
You say, I didn't say that.
So
close the lid.
What's up with photography? I heard you're super deep into photography now.
I love photography. It was it's a good outlet that's not music, because sometimes when you just do music like 24/7 straight, like sometimes you need a break, and photography turned out to be a really good outlet for me. Matter of fact, I really tried my hand at it when I came to camp out, and I was running around, you know, snapping photos and stuff, man. And like I love like concert photography and like just like people photography. Like I'm not really out here like shooting flowers and trees and, you know, deer and birds and stuff. That's
so you like shooting people?
Yeah, I love, because it's to be able to look back on that stuff and go, wow, like I remember when that happened, or, you know, to see the expression on people's faces and you know, whether it's, you know, good times that's going on or bad stuff that's going on, like just like even during the quarantine, I've been shooting a lot of photos when possible, just because it's something that you want to be able to look back on and we have memories of that. So I love it. I think every musician should find some kind of creative outlet that's not music, to just kind of give yourself a mental break a little bit. So
yeah, I just made that music video also. Making the music video is kind of fun too, right? I just made my own music video as well, just stuck in my house. That was just kind of fun.
Did you put on the selfie stick and do that?
Yeah, but I got this weird camera. It's called a 1X, and it's like made for like surfers and skateboarders.
Oh,
and
okay.
It comes with this selfie stick that automatically erases itself in the footage.
Wow.
So it doesn't look like, so I'm like literally holding the selfie stick the whole time, but this camera does some kind of algorithm where it takes the selfie stick out of the shot.
Wow.
It's super weird. It was actually really hard to understand it because it's also shooting 360, and my brain was like exploding trying to figure out how to edit it, and it was I figured it out.
How many takes did that do? Because I know, like,
you know what, I only shot what fit on the memory card, which wasn't even 40 minutes, and I just did all the work in editing, because I used to be a video editor way back in the day.
Yeah, I read about that. That when you first started. So yeah, you're way ahead of me.
Final Cut or Premiere. Your video is better than mine.
Yeah, I got injured. You use Final Cut or Premiere?
Premiere.
Okay, see, I haven't figured out Premiere yet. Like I have it, but just every time I look at it, I'm like,
I got trained on the original Avid, which is way more like Premiere. I would probably learn Final Cut since it's like native to Mac, but it's a little funkier. It's got like some quirks.
I just like Final Cut because I started with iMovie. And so once you learn iMovie, you switch to Final Cut. It's kind of like
that's how they get you in.
Yeah. But it's like everything, like you don't have to know a lot of shortcuts because it's just laid out like right in front of your face. So like you're up here trying to find a shortcut and you realize the whole thing is just sitting in your face the whole time. So
is that coffee dripping?
It's bubbling.
Is it? It's making it?
Yeah. Really, we're almost there.
You're gonna go through
Time
the roof.
For the percolator. Time for the percolator.
Yeah, so what's up with all the breakfast tracks? You got like what? How many breakfast tracks have you made?
3. It was pancakes,
Right.
sausages, French toast. And I was at this thing where like a lot of house songs were just way too serious. And I was like, this needs to be fun at some point. And I was working on the track and I was just goofing around. And I was like, man, it'd be fun if I did a song about pancakes. And I really didn't think I was going to finish it. And then I did the pancakes record. And then when it kind of worked, and then people were just like, so then like after that, my feed went nuts. Everybody's like, oh, you should do sausages, you should do omelets, you should do eggs. And it just became this whole like barrage of like And I'm like, dude, I don't want to be known as the breakfast dude for the rest of my career. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
Yeah, I
put
know
a
what
cap
you mean.
on it. Yeah, so it was like a 3 and done. The trilogy, it's over with. There's no more food songs coming out of here, you know. Because like We Leave Breakfast was the one that kind of jumped it off. You remember that song?
Oh, the track like Your Breakfast. Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun,
yeah.
dun, dun. Yeah, that was a great track.
Yeah.
And it had a really cool music video that was like hand-drawn animation.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of people like, because they were like, oh man, I was like, dude, like you got to go farther back. Like,
Who was the artist on that again?
It's Lily. It's like L-E-L-E or yeah. I think they were like French or something.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's like French house at its best right there.
And the video was actually kind of NC-17 a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
I can't remember the whole thing, but is you're pouring the first cup.
First cup going down.
All right, so that's my cue. We got the high tech. We're just playing the track out of our speakers here in the studio. We're gonna start. This is the B side of the EP, Coffee Break.
Oh.
And we're gonna have E-Clypse drink.
Did I put sugar in it?
Yeah, maybe, but you're gonna go bananas, man. I don't know. I don't drink anything in it, but some people like milk in it too.
All right. Woo. Okay. It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot. Just take it easy.
Whoa!
I don't know. You might have like heart palpitations. Don't drink too much.
Somebody told me that. I thought that was a joke. I really thought that was a joke. My dude Maurice told me that. He was like, dude, if you've never had coffee before.
Did you ever drink like a 5-hour energy or anything?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're going to be fine then.
Okay. All right. Then I'll live.
Cafe con leche. Can't get enough.
Hot.
Fresh brewed drip.
I see why y'all drink this though.
Love when you feel
it's nice.
I feel alert.
Look, I've been drinking it all morning.
Cafe con leche. Can't get enough.
Needs a little sugar though.
Fresh brewed drip.
I gotta sugar it down a little bit.
Oh no! I just
drink black
coffee because I don't know. I feel like the sugar kind of messes it up a little bit, but it definitely makes it more desserty.
I just gotta wait for it to cool down so I don't lose my tongue.
You always got a nice groove in the tracks.
Okay, so when you make tracks,
yeah,
do you kind of like picture it, like the visual of it in your head as you're making it, or is it just
it depends.
Like almost like watching cartoons in your head as you're making the track?
No.
See, like when those synth parts, like I just imagine like I see little goofy stuff going on, and so then my mind, like that's how my mind works. It's weird.
That's
so, like,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
I either have two ways of. I either know the whole concept, like it's a concept track. Yeah. Like I'm gonna do this idea, like vocal cords or something. Like I'm gonna record all this. Like it's like a supersonic idea, or I just make it, and then it's usually less of an idea and just like a vibe. But I'm like the person that has to listen to it and then I know what to do. It's easier if I just like set up a beat and then I kind of know what to do, instead of just like the blank canvas is a nightmare. So I make a lot of beats that don't get released.
See? Yeah. Like I probably got a whole folder of just unfinished. Yeah. It sounded like a good idea. And then you listen to it the next day and you're like, Nah.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, that's a cool way to work because in the beginning when I started, I was like, I'm gonna work this song until it's done attitude.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'm not giving up on this track no matter what. It's gonna get finished. Like beating it down into submission. But now I'm like, I'll just make 50 loops and one of them is gonna stick out and like 3 days later when I listen to them, and I'll go with that one, the best one, because then it's like less stressful. You're not like, holy crap, I gotta finish this track no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, with me, it's kind of like you get the idea all at once. And so you're scrambling and trying to keep up with your brain to get it out before you forget it.
Yeah,
And
that's
then after
cool.
that, like I don't touch it. Like I know people that can work on a track for like days.
Yeah,
And I
me.
can't do it.
That's me.
I can't do it. Like it because then like it'll start off one way and then I'll completely mess it up.
Yeah, that's true. If you overwork it, I have noticed that if you overwork it, you can lose the magic that you had. But I find that the engineering part of it is so annoying that like the engineering part of it to make it sound right, it's like that's not what I'm best at. So that is like really, I waste a lot of time on that.
See, that's the part I love. I love the mixing part. Like that's where I really tweak out. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's where to me like the fun part gets to it, just because especially like when it comes to the drums, like I spend a lot of hours on just mixing the drums.
Yeah.
It takes forever, and then
Yeah.
like
I hate that part.
and people don't understand that though. People don't understand that by the time the track comes out, they love it. We don't want to hear it for about another month. Because we've heard it probably 500 times before it even hits. Because when you're mixing it, you've played this record like 500 times, then mastering, and you gotta listen to the master over and over again, and then you gotta make the radio edit, and you gotta make the streaming edit. And by that time, you're about 1,000 plays deep. You're just like, you know what? Give me a month. I'll love it just as much as you do. But for right now.
Well, you start liking it when you play it out and people are like, yeah, then it's okay again.
Yeah. Especially like when you play like the really good clubs that have like the super subs and you feel it through your foot.
Yeah. The way you can't hear it at home.
Yeah. Because then you're like, I didn't know that under sub was in there like that.
Yeah.
You're like,
well, that's the part that also cracks my brain up, because I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I did that sub bass correctly because it sounds a little funky and whatever. I love to play tracks out like 5-10 times before being done with them, but now that's not happening. So it's like whatever comes out of my house is what's coming out.
Cause like that solo track was dope, dude. Like
Thank you.
That was something I didn't even expect, because usually your stuff's more like on the bouncy, like really funky end. And then it was like this super mellow, you know, like it was super house, but it was also super deep. And then the vocal kicked in, and I was like, that's nice.
Came out of like just messing around. I actually just made that. That was actually part of Freaks and Beaks, but it was like a B side. And then I emailed it out to my, like, I have this thing called Claudes Club where I just like send a email to everyone just talking about stuff, and like nothing really, there's no like hook on it or anything. It's just raw text emails. And that was one of the tracks that I gave to them. And then I got all this feedback. And then I finished it from the feedback from the fans.
Oh.
It was cool.
So did you get the vocal first or the track first?
No, I did the track first.
Oh,
and okay. I originally had the guy Jaw from DOP, but I just couldn't make it. He was only able to be in here one day, and he gave me a really good vocal. But you know, like when you're like I don't know about you, but I'm like a very particular producer. And if it's not exactly right and I can't fit it in there exactly the way I want to, then I have to redo it. And so I ended up redoing the vocal. I wish that Jaw had been on the track because he has a better like falsetto than me, but it ended up working out cool. Even though, so Barry Drift is me, obviously.
Yeah.
I always say that that's like a alias, but whatever. I have like 5 million aliases.
I had some aliases, but I never used them. And probably because
Did
they
you
were
make
funny to me.
Did you make hip hop beats as DJ-Eclypse?
Yeah, but it was spelled different. And so then it was spelled different since I wasn't really the one putting out the tracks.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't matter. But then when I started putting out tracks and then we
Did you have a tag like made by Eclipse? No.
No, it wasn't. That whole tag thing wasn't even like, I mean, really, the tag thing didn't really start happening until like maybe what, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
The tag thing really was heavy, but I think the only people that had tags back then was like Swiss Beats and Timberland.
Yeah.
You know,
there was a guy that in house that do you remember Dave Taylor Switch? He was putting tags on house tracks.
I remember Paul Johnson's been doing it though forever. Like he starts with Paul Johnson is amazing. It is
I love Paul Johnson. He is amazing.
So he was like the first producer tag I heard on the house track that I know of.
That's funny. All right, so I got some questions from people who are watching.
My brain's tweaking.
What did you learn from signing with the major? Yeah, this is something I wanted to ask you too. You were actually signed up with majors. First question is, was it a dream come true? I already know the answer.
In the beginning, it is. Yeah. Like you're really hyped that it happened.
Just let me back this up. You were signed to major labels for house music. I don't know which one. We won't get into it.
Yeah, we ain't gonna name drop today.
You had a deal.
Yeah.
I don't even, maybe you have more than one deal. I don't even know. But go ahead.
I mean, I would say there's pros and cons to it. The pro is the potential for exposure. Like you go into it thinking that like, okay, now that I'm with a major, like you're gonna just and it just, and that's kind of your mindset going into it. And then you get there.
Yeah.
And you realize that, there's a lot of moving parts in order for that to really happen. Like you and your A&R and your marketing and everybody kind of has to be on the same page. And if it's not clicking on all cylinders, it either could go really bad or it could go really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes like if you have a vision of what you're trying to do and they like it, sometimes the label has a vision for you and you think they're signing you for you. And then you find out after you signed that they kind of were looking to make you into something else. And so that's where the trick is. It's like, you're thinking that, oh man, like they really like what I do. And then they go, well, we like what you do, but we were envisioning you more like this. And you're like, oh. And that's when the air in the balloon comes out.
I worked on like movies before I got into before I had any success in electronic music. I was like a production assistant, and then I was like a director's personal PA and stuff. And I found myself in some of these sessions, like mixing down a movie.
Yeah.
Where like I watch a guy work like 18 hours and then a guy come in and be like, I think we need to replace all of the synth sounds with banjos. And watch the guy just cry internally. And I was like, I never want to be that guy. that has to put in the banjos, I'll kill my. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I got a
like
bad
that.
taste in my mouth early on just watching like how movies soundtracks come together and stuff. It was crazy. The politics.
Yeah, but I've seen some situations really work.
Yeah.
And then I've seen some that haven't. And the one thing that I noticed separated the two was, you know, you have to really know why they signed you, and you really need to articulate your vision beforehand.
You probably need like a hero on that side, like somebody who's really on your side.
Yeah. And I mean, like a lot of times the people in the label aren't really ground level people. So in their mind, they know what works. And then in your mind, you know what works. And it's trying to get the two to agree where it gets, you know. So, I mean, but then you got situations where it just totally works, you know. So I can't really knock it. I think that a major label can be a great thing if it's the right relationship, if it's the right person. Like you and your A&R have to really have the same vision.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you should avoid it like the plague. Like,
all right, let's see. Here's another question from the fans. Do you have any mixtapes we should check out from the old days?
No.
Okay.
I did. And it was funny because my grandma I didn't even notice until she passed that I didn't notice she literally had a shoebox with all of my mixtapes in it.
Oh,
and
wow.
I didn't know it. So like when she died, and then you have to go and clean the house out and property, and like under her bed, she had a shoebox, and it had like all my mixtapes in it, all my mixtape covers.
That's
like
so sweet.
Any write-ups, man. It was.
That's cool.
Yeah. So my grandma was like a really big influence, but like as far as like actual mixtapes to recirculate, nah.
No. All right. Somebody wants to know, Vanessa. Vanessa's on here, and we got Gene Ferris on here. Here's from Vanessa. What's your favorite release that you've done?
The ones people don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, same. But...
like there's the records that you make, and you're like, this is going to be the one, and they kind of just go. And then the one that you kind of made is, kind of just like goofing around is the one that goes. You're like that one. That's the one. I think one of my.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Pancakes was fun, but like Scooty Woop to me was really one of the most fun ones. Like it's like,
fun record.
Well, that was to me like Scooty Woop was kind of where I finally found the right blend of hip hop and house. Like to me, that's been the hardest part of my journey, where it was like, how do you get that hip hop swing and that grunge, but at the same time still add that house element? And I felt like Scooty Woop was the first time that it really was exactly what I wanted it to sound like. So I would have to say right now that, and then that Brooklynish after that.
So just a note to all the producers out there, whatever the dumbest record that you hate the most is going to be your number one record. So whatever you put out, just remember that's guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we got Gene Ferris on here, who's got the next release on Dirtybird called Space
the big
Girl.
Homie.
Yeah, he's great. We love Gene Ferris.
I had no idea that dude was that tall.
He's asking me, Gene is asking, can Claude please explain plamping to me?
Yeah. Yeah,
whatever.
I was going to ask that question. I don't even know what that is.
It's just like, it came, a lot of people saying it came out of these like hardcore dubstep chat rooms. And then some people say it came out of Desert Hearts chat rooms. But it was like this thing when live streaming started that everybody had a lamp and a lava lamp and a plant in their live stream. And then people started to say, that they had no pants on as well. And then it just became this word that popped up in every live stream like 10 million times. And then that's it. That's what it is. It's like new slang. It's live stream, new COVID-19 slang.
That's nothing what I thought it was going to be. I thought the definition was going to be something totally different.
But it means anything now. It means just like going for it, like watching a live stream or whatever. It means people use it for everything. It's ridiculous.
Well, hopefully Scooty Woop becomes its own slang.
Okay, so we got a message from Darren, and Darren is how I found out about you in the first place. Darren Delgado is our label manager, and he's like, you need to check out this guy E-Clypse. Way back when I booked you at Camp Out, the first time, he's like, you got to listen to E-Clypse. He's the best. And I was like, okay, cool. And so Darren is telling us, which I already knew this, but I'm glad he brought it up. We have a full vocal version of Scooty Woop that's on the Bird feed, and the Bird feed is our like subscription service. So if you want to go check that out, you can get a whole other version of the track with the whole vocal on it, because you originally did like a whole thing.
Yeah, because I used to also do battle rap. So like, so it was like, you know, really trying to get the real like hip house kind of vibe going. It's a little different, but it was fun.
I got people asking if they can make Scooty Woop costumes for Halloween.
What would that costume look like? I don't even want to know that one. Like
from the music video.
I really wanted to do like a frohawk. I was going for that. I couldn't find strong enough hairspray.
All right. What about what are some house legends that you look up to? It's another one from the fans.
Green Velvet, huge. Todd Edwards,
cool.
Like Todd Edwards, like to me had like the meanest drum game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Harry Romero and Joe Ski was another. Like just the nastiness of the drums.
Those guys are good at mixing records.
Frankie Knuckles, of course. Like I was privileged to talk to him in depth a couple times before he passed, and he gave me a lot of insight. Would definitely have to say Kenny Dope. Masters at Work.
Man,
you know,
got a good list. This is like our top 5.
Yeah. And then I would definitely have to say, I can't really say, it would have to be a collective. Like it would be a collective of like Sluggo, Dion, Funk.
Oh yeah.
Assault. You know what I'm saying? Like that Paul Johnson, Stacy Kidd, like that whole.
It's like the booty bass, ghetto tech, like when they're really nasty lyrics up at like 150.
Yeah, and it was crazy because like when I played hip hop clubs, even before I was even playing house, we were playing a lot of that stuff in hip hop clubs. Like we would mix it with like all
really?
We would play like all the 2 Live Crew stuff, Poison Clan stuff, and all of a sudden Dance Mania stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, it's like
that's the same way it was in Detroit. In Detroit, everybody thinks that Detroit is the home of techno and like all this really serious techno music. But if you went to any club where it was going off, it was always like booty or get like super ghetto tracks that were the ones that would get everyone going. It was never like the techno. The techno parties were always really serious. So the booty parties were always like going off.
Yeah,
that's what I saw when I was there.
All the underground construction stuff, Dance Mania stuff, Dust Track stuff, you know, like all those weird, you know what I mean? But those were, we used to play those in hip hop clubs. Like,
that's great.
It wasn't nothing to hear, especially like the DJ Assault, DJ Funk, Paul Johnson, like, because then like even like some of Yeah, I mean, because like they even would put
Wild.
out records where like they would sample like Bone Thugs and Harmony or something and put it like over some Booty House stuff so it fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
you couldn't have one without the other, but
Yeah, I had a friend talking about that genre in particular is great at just like doing bootlegs. I had a friend
Yeah.
that would just wait and he would just take whatever track from the top 10 on the pop chart, make a ghetto tech version of it and release it on iTunes and just wait for the takedown notice. But they would make money while it was up.
I was gonna do that, and then Darren was like, "Unless you got a couple grands left to the side, don't do it." Because I wanted to. Like, I had a couple of them where I was like, really wanted to put it out. Like, Hold Up was like that. Hold Up was one of those records I really wanted to put out, and I knew without a shadow of a doubt, if I'd have did it, I'd have got mollywopped. So,
right. You also have to consider who you are doing the bootleg of, because
and see, you know what? I'm glad
sometimes
you
it
said
can
that.
get kind of serious.
I'm so glad you said that, because I told people that. Like, I said it on Twitter a couple times, and I'm like, yo, when some of these hip hop dudes find out that you're just running around here jacking their vocals and they didn't get no
that's
paper
not
from
gonna
it,
work.
you might catch one to the face.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, they're not gonna be caught. They don't care about plurs. They care about.
We got another question here that you are a big proponent of diversity in dance music. It's one of your things that you talk about online a lot. You want to talk about it here a little bit?
Shout out to you first for being one of the people that's really like spearheading that. Like, I remember playing Camp Out. I remember playing Camp Out and seeing more Black people in one event than I had pretty much ever at that point. I was just like, yo, this is dope. Like, because that to me, and even like with women in lineups, you know, people of color in lineups, like you guys really, you know, take a lot of time to build those lineups, and it's appreciated, and it's not as prevalent in other places.
But I think it's just Dirtybird is for everybody. It's not really like, I mean, everybody's making good music. It's not like we're just building the lineup on like who's making good music. And I mean, I'm glad that it ends up being that way. But I just want to be like, these people, everybody's making good music. So let's just book everybody's making good music.
But some people, when they think of diversity in lineups, especially when it comes to Black DJs, they only think of the originators.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, if you're not, you know, Todd or Kenny or Louis or one of those people, then there's this blank space in the middle. And so, you know,
I mean, I noticed it on lineups too, especially in Europe.
I like I didn't when I first discovered Black V-neck, and then found out they were Cuban, I was like, yo, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and you know, even with Vanessa, and you know what I mean, like all kinds of stuff, like just that diversity of just, it's not just a, you know, a dudes club, you know, and really like some of the dopest DJs of me out here are women. You know, like there's some women that can throw down, dude, and it's like,
happening right now for that.
And like, you know, like you're good for a girl. Some of them are really serious, dude. Like really serious.
For sure. Absolutely.
Like DJ Heather.
Yeah, DJ Heather is amazing. I've listened to DJ Heather before I was even making house music. Are you talking about DJ Heather from Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was just thinking, cause my mind was warped, because I was going back in my mind. I was thinking like, you know, and like, I don't even know if she really still DJs anymore, but Psycho Bitch.
Oh, I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe you should send me a link. Anyway, we're wrapping it up here. We're getting towards the end of the hour. We got DJ-Eclypse here. He's got a brand new record coming out this Friday on Dirtybird. It's the Blackbird EP. Scooty Woop, coffee break. How is the first cup of coffee that you ever drank going down?
I'm gonna have to run this out because like me holding still right now, like I'm trying to hold still, but it's not as easy as I thought it was gonna be. Like I'm just sitting here like I don't want to do the like.
Yeah.
But I'm up. Put it like that. Like if I went in the studio right now, I could probably do an album in 8 hours, dude. Like,
just go do it. Go do it.
It's working.
Go lay down some vocals.
With no cream, no nothing, straight. This is good.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you.
It's really good.
Yeah, I like it too, actually. It's got good flavor. It's got
I like
a little
it has
bit of
the
a
elevation
chocolatey thing in it. Like it's
See, and I said that. I smelled like when I just smelled the bag. I know I sound like a weed head right there, but smell to the bag, baby. But but no, when I first smelled it, I was like, it's kind of got that low chocolatey vibe to it. But
today
I like how it has elevation on it.
Wait, I just want to point out that what quarantine does to a person, my wife just told me today is Friday. I'm like, oh yeah, today is Friday.
Maybe you had more coffee than I did.
I'm like, I don't even know what day it is. Anyway,
my
it's
wife
out
today.
today.
Put the elevation
Your
on
record's
there.
out today. The what?
The elevation.
The elevation.
Yeah.
I do have the bag here. I do have it.
So it's like the higher up the beans were grown.
3,900 to 5,500 feet in the air is where this is grown.
So does that like affect the bean quality? Like, does it make it?
I don't know. I'm not even like a coffee connoisseur. But you're right. You were right. It says dark chocolate, molasses, and roasted nut is the flavor profile. Roasted nuts. All right,
that'd be a good
now.
commercial. That'd be a good commercial. Delivers flavored notes of dark chocolate.
Everybody go check out this record. Watch the music video. I think we're gonna.
Y'all ain't got nowhere to go.
Yeah,
y'all ain't got nowhere to go. Stream it. Stream it.
Dance around your apartment. This is a fun track. I think we're gonna do the same show with Gene. Maybe in a week or in 2 weeks. I don't know. This is the first episode ever of this show. Thank you, E-Clypse, for you broke ground with me. You told me all about everything. I appreciate it. And have a great day. Have a great release day.
You too, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the label. Thank you to the whole Dirtybird crew, man. Like, this has been the dopest week of my house music career.
Awesome.
I really appreciate it. So
no problem, man. We love you.
Thank you.
All right, man. Go run that off. Go run around the block a few times.
I got to. I got like 3 sips and I'm out the door. So I appreciate it, man. Take care, man.
Peace. Talk to you later.
Frothy, café con leche.